right, and what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Night Quantum Session. Today is June 28th. This is the first quantum session at my new house in Florida, which is fucking awesome. So I'm getting settled in. Everything's going really, really well. Getting pumped for the course as well, which is gonna start in just over a week. We had a little bonus session on what was it, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning. And we got to, hopefully, those who joined me got to see this spectacular saucebox play that played out. Humongous saucebox, by the way. Humongous saucebox that played out, though. Right up to this box up here where we rejected. Now we're just kind of hanging out, kind of trapped in this range. It is trying to flip down, and the way I'm looking at it, it's trying to flip down a little bit on the 1 minute, but it needs to close underneath all these levels. We are still clearly in an uptrend, but if the 1 minute breaks, right, we got to start seeing what the 2 minute wants to do, and where the 2 minute can go hunting is pretty deep. All right, we have 28 on the 1. We have on the 5 minute where the trend cloud is at around 25. So we're watching this consolidation, and you do not want to enter. So here's something about taking shorts on a downtrend, right? Unless you have something you're looking at, obviously a strong area of interest, right? For you guys who are ICT traders, or those are students of mine that know saucebox levels, anything like that. Obviously this is a big area of interest for me. Obviously this is where I would be potentially interested in a rejection, which we did see. But other than that, right, we are in an uptrend. So any short any short I see is going to potentially be short-lived until I start seeing levels get cleared out, right? And with quantum, you have multiple areas of support and resistance. Main two are the candles and the levels. Those are the main two things that you're going to use. Okay, and those of you in here, if anybody is using MVGs are a level 2. So if you see these green areas, these are the MVGs. I'm a big MVG user. I love MVGs, especially when they're attached to quantum candles. They're a strong area of potential reaction, right? And if we see, all right, here's that push down. If we see a closure below an area, right, this can be a failed bullish move, just like the quantum candles, a failed bullish move. We're seeing the blues start to break. Next area is 628, right? Hard bleed through right now. This 28 area is going to be a potential reaction area, because that is also lining up with the 5 minute uptrend, that first level of uptrend on the 5 minute. But I want to watch what it does when it gets down there. You do not want to try to tap buy when it gets down there, right? I use the DOM as an added confluence, and I want to see what it does. Okay, so right now it's barely speeding up, it's barely moving. I'm not seeing that reaction I usually like when it's at a potential strong area. So it's looking like we might be searching for a higher low on a shorter time frame. A higher time frame potentially if we break this 28. We just cleared all this in here. We just broke that blue. No potential retest by the looks of it. If it doesn't bounce up. All right, now we have to see if the 628 will break. You have to be careful with that 624 on the 5. All right, below 624, you have all this room on the 5 to challenge 561. 561 is all the way down here. I don't have anything, right? We don't really have anything until 547 on the 2 minute. On the 1 minute, 567. A lot of open space for it to go down if it breaks this 28. 28 and 24. I'm sorry, I gotta make sure I clear up that 5 minute downtrend as well, or uptrend, that 24 area. So it looks like it's tapping it right now. And that was a very strong bleed through. So again, right, when you have multiple areas, obviously you see these purple candles up here, these older 2 minute purple candles. Let me zoom out, right? Actually, it looks like these were broken. So it's just this one. This one should be gone. It's just this one right here and this one up here. Even this one should be gone. Looks like I need to clean up my chart a little bit. This should be gone as well because it was already broken. It was broken right here. So we just had this guy. On the 5 minute, let me make sure, right? On the 5 minute, we had this guy right here from Friday at 1:30. That's this rejection right here. All right, looks like 24 is being tested again. Let me make sure I have everything lined up. Yep, I got these guys marked up. Okay. Want to make sure I have the correct candles marked up before I continue. Okay, so the 2 minute, we just had this new one. We had that 5 minute that held up here at 676. Obviously, I have Saucebox up here as well. So right now it's looking fairly well for a potential flip-in trend. But let's see if this continues to bleed here and close below 24 and 28. 24 on a 5. So the 1 minute did not close below 28. Closed right above it. And this is where it's very important for me to wait for candle closure. If there's no candle closure below, right, this is basic for support and resistance, right? If there's no candle closure below, it's a no-go for me. Sometimes, this is exactly, I was just gonna say, right? Sometimes you'll see a flip and a bleed through. For me, there's no entry in this kind of setup right here, unless I have a candle closure and a break and retest, right? You do have, yes, you see that, Fahad? Yep, you got a little 3-bar potential on the 2 minute. So you could use that as a potential confluence for a break, right? There's multiple ways to play these. Just like Orb, if you guys listen to Max, right? He loves 3-bar breaks of Orb and things like that. But you still have to be patient because that bleed through, right? We don't know if this candle is going to close below it. If it does, that's confirmation. The 5 minute also breaking below that 24. So I want that 5 minute to also close below that. And then we have potential push down. So there's the break and retest right there. Boom. Clear, beautiful. Beautiful break and retest. All right, let's look at the, let me draw this out for you guys, right? These are fast, okay? These are fast when you have this kind of price action, but this was a break, your retest. This was about a 3-point risk trade. You got your instant 10 points, right? You have to try to enter around the tap of these levels. You're not gonna always try to catch the tap exactly, but the first thing I always eyeball is where's my risk, right? My stop loss is gonna be above 630. Okay, I already know that. So I'm going to enter anywhere between 25 and 30, knowing that I like to risk 10 points, right? 10 points is my main TP. So if I'm going to get in around 26 or 30, or anywhere between here, I'm trying to enter, my risk is up here at 632. So I'm going to try to catch that entry to try to catch a potential rejection for a quick gain. There it goes a little bit. All right, let's see that 5 minute close. Now the 5 minute's going to test, and there it goes. There it goes. Look at that. Boom. Please tell me some of you guys caught that. Oh my God. Please tell me some of you guys caught that. Please tell me some of you guys caught that. 5 micros, $200 right there, the blink of an eye. Boom. Okay. Plays out. You have to wait. You got to be patient. Beautiful short right there, right? Patience, patience, patience. Look at that. Look at all that room we had. Please tell me you guys caught that. Look. We had room down immediately, candle closure, retest, push. Candle closure, retest, push. Look at this, right? 3-point risk trade just turned into 58, 60 points. Okay? We do these lessons live every day because the patterns happen live every day. This is how I do what I do. Quantum is a strategy, right? It's one of my main strategies. Saucebox, it's a separate strategy, right? The way that I use EMAs, the way that I use candlestick structure, the way that I use market structure, things like that, right? I use everything in this harmony, this combination of things, right? And I can scalp anything at any time. I don't have to wait for specific times to potentially catch a move. This is what it looks like. Right? What time is it? It's 8:01. We actually caught this short right before Tokyo Open. Right? It's set up beautifully. Look, it's still going. Is anybody still in this? I got trailed out on mine. I got in up here and I got trailed out up $350. I'm gonna take that. Look at this. 3 to 4 point risk trade, right? If you entered at the tap up here. If you entered inside, 5 point risk trade. I mean, You got 600, you got in that 600, let's fucking go. Yeah, it's still a beautiful move right there, right? Getting in at 600 is a little bit late though. I will say that, it's a little bit late. You want your entries to be as close to the retests. You don't want to get in too late because again, right, you don't know how far, obviously we had room. We had a lot of room, but you don't want to try to get in too late. You always have to try to make your entries as low risk as possible, right? Because if you got in late, there's a good chance that it's going to reverse up and cook you. Okay, so try to make sure that your entries A plus plus setups, right? Candle closure is your entry, right? Let's go over this. Okay, that played out beautifully. I hope you guys ate on that. That was textbook right there, textbook, right? Very nice. Okay, break and retest played out beautifully. Look at all that room down, melted through here. Here's another break and retest. Let's see if we see that again. We got a golden MVG down here to be careful. You got in late, but you caught some of that. Let's go. Okay, so let's go over A++ entries. Okay, A++ entries are the only entry point that I make that is different, right? Because my bread and butter is break and retest. These are the only things that I will have a different entry type. Entry is at candle closure. So it's important to wait for candle closure because the sequence that turns the quantum candles blue and purple has to complete, plus that level has to lock. So it's very important you know where this line is potentially going to cross. If it's crossing in front, right, you want to wait for the lock and potential retest. That's the way I play these, right? You don't have to play it exactly like how I play it. You can absolutely still enter it. It just takes away a plus because it's risky. If the move's already happening, I wouldn't touch it because it's already pushing, okay? But if it doesn't and it stalls out and it retests, you can absolutely take those. Those are called the advanced reads, right? The retest of a level attached to an A++. But an A++ entry is always candle closure. Candle closes, you get your signal, you click buy. Simple as that, right? You click buy up here. Your stop loss is right below here, right? Right below that red line, that's your stop loss line. And obviously I go for 1-to-1. So if I'm risking 30 points, I'm going for 30 points. Today's price action has given us 1-to-1 continuously so far, right? Even on that, except for that 5-minute signal, it didn't give it to us. But on the one, it gave you that plus some, right? And then up here, right? Up here, guess what? This is not an A++. Why? Why is this not an A++? Because a cross occurs in front, right? A cross occurs in front, pushes down, you get a blue candle immediately. Will I play an advanced read when I see a blue candle forming? Hell no. Why? Because now it's a range. Now this is a quantum range. You got the bottom of the blue, the top of a purple. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for one side to break, right? And guess what happens? This big boy breaks it, which does make it risky for me, right? I'm not a fan of impulse candles. This is a violent break, but you got your potential retest, right? So immediately I'm going to be like, okay, my risk would be below the breaking candle, right? This is the breaking candle of that quantum range. My stop loss is going to be below the breaking candle. Okay, stop loss below the breaking candle, about 5 points if I look for my entry around 46. So guess what? I'm going to be ready if this approaches 46 to get in. I know where my stop loss is, and I'm not going to go for 5 points, right? My bread and butter number is 10, so I'm going to go for 10. Okay, I'm always going to go for 10. That's the way I trade. Okay, and guess what? Got 10, right? I could have played it once, got 10. Could have played it twice, got 10. Right? This is how I have my fun sometimes. 1, 2, 1. Let's say this tab 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, could have played this little bounce 4 times, having the same risk. 40 points right here for me to take. And until it stops working, I tend to play it. Okay, guess where the next entry? Guess where the next setup was? Right. Right there. Right, exact same thing. Right, blue candle break gives it a little bit of extra power, a little bit of extra strength. Same general idea, right? There's your break, there's your retest. I know where my stop loss is. I do have another blue candle back here. You could, right? You could use that one as well. I like to keep my wrist tight. That's me, right? Gonna go for my 10 points. Guess what? Got it once, twice, Next time it didn't come back all the way down. If my runner was still alive because it never got taken out at break even, I would have caught a nice little push to the sauce box. Okay. Now here, right, if anybody took this and if you guys didn't have, like I said, right, if you didn't mark your old purple candles or you didn't have sauce box or something here to kind of give you a potential rejection zone, right, you might have gotten cooked on this one, right? Push, boom, hung out, and then you wait for the opposite to happen, right? This one didn't present a clean entry. This one kind of did. Didn't really come up close enough. If you look at this, right, I didn't enter here. We had a level, we had an MVG, right? But let's take a look. Let's just take a look. Your risk, if you got in around 47, would have been about 10 points. It never got there. There was no entry for me to take that potential risk trade, right? It got all the way, your potential entry, if you have sniper fingers, would have been 44. But the majority of us aren't going to have sniper fingers, right? You're risking 15 points at that point. If I were to potentially make a test entry, it would only be a couple of micros at most, just to see, okay? If I got in a couple of micros and it pulls up, I'm gonna add 1 or 2, but my stop loss will never change. It'll stay the same. I will not move my stop loss, right? This will adjust my entry. Maybe my entry will now be around here. Still 11 points risk. Guess what? I'm gonna go for 11 points. If it gives it to me, great. If it takes me out and stops me out, oh well, right? We're fighting against an uptrend. So I'm not gonna look for anything bigger than that until I get more confirmation. Here, right, we just broke all those levels. We broke that MVG. We broke a bunch of support areas to trigger a potential drop. We had a lot of room down, right? The 5-minute close below 24, the 1-minute close below 28. There was your break and retest. There was your break and retest. Everything lined up for this short beautifully with the tiniest risk, 5-point risk, which is insane, right? Insane amount of potential risk, and look at what happened here, right? And look, right? It turned into a 125-point trade if anybody let a runner breathe. From here all the way down there, right? Are you going to catch these every single day? No, right? Don't expect yourself to catch these home runs every single day. Let them come to you, because they will. I catch them all the freaking time when they come to me, and I'm happy when they come to me. But I'm not chasing these setups. I'm not chasing these big explosive plays every single day, right? You're going to see me take 10 points 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's 40 points right there in a couple of minutes, right? Somebody out there is waiting for 40 points for like an hour, right? And I could catch that in about 10 minutes easily in the chop, right? But that's how I identify the chop first. I have to wait for everything to happen. And then I will keep my stop losses in place. If I get stopped out, guess what? Then that chop zone is broken and I wait for the next one. I rinse and repeat over and over and over again. It never changes, right? If you guys have been here long enough, you guys know that my setups do not change. I play the exact same entry points, the exact same stop loss points over and over and over again. That's why I'm as consistent as I am, okay? My strategies do not change. I keep it as continuous as possible because it just works. It just works. Why am I going to change it? There's no reason to. All right, the strategies play out the exact same every single time. Are you going to lose some? Yes, you are. Right? Don't expect to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Everyone thinks I'm this perfect trader, and I'm not. Right? But I have so much control over my risk and my sizing that I'm never scared. I'm never worried. Because if I lose a trade, it's going to be small. And if I lose 3 trades in a row, it's going to be one account and it's going to be small. Right? This is the beauty of Quantum, right? Quantum gives you precise entry points, precise stop loss points. You're waiting for the breaks of these candles. You're waiting for the signals with confluences, right? You're not going to just play the signals by themselves. You want to wait for added confluence, right? I didn't want to enter up here. I liked the entry down here. I took it. I saw some of you guys took it. It was a beautiful play, right? Played out gorgeously. And sometimes, right? Sometimes it might not play out like that. You might have just gotten 15, 20 points, I'd be happy with that still, right? If my runner didn't run, let's say I had a runner and I got my 10 points and it got stopped out and then it dumped, no woulda, coulda, shoulda. I would have been still celebrating. I got my play, I ate, I collected, I moved on. That's simple, repetitive, okay? And that's what's gonna help a lot of the people that have psych problems, right? That We're always second guessing ourselves. We're always, unsure. You have to be sure, right? If you guys listen to me during power hour, I will always identify my stop loss first. My stop loss is my first identification point because I know where I want to enter. It's that simple, right? I see this, I already know my stop loss is going to be above this 632. So I'm going to try to enter anywhere within a 10-point range of 632, right? But obviously this thing pulled right to the retest at 27. I'm going to click sell. I know where my stop loss is. If it breaks that, I'm getting the hell out. Because if it breaks this, it's going to potentially push all the way back up to 46. I'm not going to hold a push over 32 to 46. That's 13 points of drawdown, right? You don't want to do that stuff. Respect the stop losses, be okay with losing, and move on. It's that simple, okay? Process is repetitive as hell. All right, now we got a new blue. And this is, again, right? We got really close to the golden MVG. Those are strong areas for potential bounce. We bounce. We hit 495, bounce hard. Psychological level as well. What are we potentially testing right now? This is what I'm looking at, right? If Asia is going to flip the trend, we had multiple market structure breaks, right? If Asia is going to flip the trend, I want to see if we reject 560, right? This 560 needs to keep rejecting, and this is what? This is the break of that green. There's a little bit of rejection right there. Look, as I'm saying it, right? We hit 560, and there's your rejection. It's literally that simple. Right? Break, retest. You want to see it break. If it pulls back above it, right? Here's how I use the cloud, guys. I don't talk about the cloud a whole lot. Here's how I use the cloud, right? If it breaks back above 60, where can we potentially test? Up to 593. This downtrend level on the cloud. What do I have in between 560 and 93 or 95 on my charts? Nothing. Okay? We look at that. Clean rejection off of 60. Look at this, right? Look, we hit 60.50 and rejected, right? Guess what? Now we want to see if we break this blue, break that 12, and continue the downtrend to potentially fill this MVG. And then you might see that the MVG potentially bounce back to retest another, right, lower high search if the downtrend is going to be confirmed. Okay? Always be careful playing in these type zones, right? Because you need this to break, but you also need this to break, right? So 527 to 512, I don't use these as TPs. I want the room in between as TPs. So if it's already really close, it's already done for me. Like, I'm not going to try to squeeze in a couple points there if it's already bleeding through. There you go. Okay, there's your 512. So let's see if this 1 and 2 minute line up to break that blue and continue this push down to that golden MVG potentially for that potential downtrend push. All right, closed a little bit above. There's your little push down. There's your pull right back up, right? See, closed above. Until that level breaks, now we're going to be trapped in here. So if this downtrend again, right, this is a break and retest. Okay, this is a break and retest, but you're in a tight little area. Is this worth it? Not really to me. But it played out. It played out, right? Sometimes you have to be a little bit fearless and go for it if you're okay with it, but control your damn size, right? Control sizing, and be okay if you take the L. If you take the L, right, you got to be okay with it. Don't revenge trade. Don't go all of a sudden, oh, this BS, I'm going to just play whatever. No. The play's dead. That's strike one or strike two, wherever you might be, right? That's why I have my rules. I have my rules in place to protect me from that BS. So I'm not in here just clicking, right? There's another setup. It played out awesome, but you have to understand that it was risky. Why? Because you were trapped in between a level and that blue candle. It played out beautifully though, right? Now it was 36 points, risking 9. Great, right? Great. If it came out, great. If you got stopped out, let's say this play didn't play out, right? Let's say it didn't play out. Oh well, move on. Get over it. Right? Take the screenshot. Let's save it. Let's see if I can break anything down. There's the push to the golden MVG. Right? If I can decipher what I messed up with. There it goes. Look at that. Right? There you go, right? If you didn't catch this entry, guess what? This one's a little bit riskier, though. I wouldn't have caught that 23-point risk. You got your 1-to-1. All right? But there it is again. Right? This is how I can read the market the way I do, guys. It's very simple. It's very clear. It's very picture perfect, right? And I hate using the word simple. It's very simple. It gets simple. The more you read the same thing over and over again, the easier it becomes. The patterns repeat, right? The market does the same thing every fucking day, right? It trends, it ranges, it trends. Just wait for those areas, right? Wait for the confirmation of the trend. I don't like to trade a whole lot when a market opens because the market opening is trying to build its trend. It's that simple, right? So I want to get a clear picture of a trend and I want to play off of that. When I get confirmations of a flip, I start playing the flip. I play both sides. I have zero bias. I don't care if we're expecting a long day or a short day. I don't care. I'm going to completely ignore all my biases. I'm going to go with what I see. I'm a reactionary trader. I see a higher low or lower high. I'm waiting for my confirmations. I wait for my entry points, the breaks and retests. I get in, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. It's a little dark in here. Let me turn on the light real quick, go. I just noticed how dark it was. Oh, sorry, I got my knee. My knee is killing me. So when I took that fall, oh, my camera moved. When I took that fall at the event, the Blitz, I think I did something to my knee. It has not gotten better. It has not gotten better at all. Whew, there you go, guys. Look at that. Beautiful short. Like, beautiful short. Look at that continuation. Like, it's just, again, this is the same thing I do. This is how I can trade whenever, guys. I can take 100 trades. I get the same results. Look, a bounce off a sauce box. Right? Doesn't that kind of look familiar? Look at that. All right? It's just, I hate using the word easy because it's not easy at the beginning. Okay, let me word it this way. It is not easy in the beginning, right? Everyone has a learning curve. Okay, everyone's gonna take a little more time to learn something, to trust something. Okay, the trading world is filled with strategies. Okay, trusting a strategy is hard because you have to test it in real time. Right? You can backtest any strategy. Every strategy will look beautiful when backtested because you're just looking for those spots. You're looking for what exactly you're looking for, right? You know what you're looking for. You know where to look for it because you see it, you stop there, and you start testing it there. It is difficult to test things in real time, right, with your emotions and your uncertainty happening because you're trading an account that you put money into. Right? When you're backtesting, you're usually backtesting paper. There's zero emotions attached to it, right? There's no real uncertainty because you kind of already saw it. You kind of already know where the area is, and you're going to keep playing off of that. But the moment that you get into real market conditions, right? 9:30, 9 a.m., 6 o'clock on Sundays, complete uncertainty. You have no idea what's going to happen. So you have to be able to trust something to get in, understand your entries, understand your stops, and just play those, right? Quantum provides that every single day. Same setups over and over and over again, right? The easiest setup to learn outside of the A++ is the failed bullish and bearish moves. This is the easiest setup to learn, right? Trust the trend. Obviously, we know we are now in a downtrend, right? Guess what happened over here, right? I'm not a fan of playing the 5-minute. Right? But guess what happened over here? This is how I would play this. Right? This is the stuff that I picked up, right? There's a little bit of chicken here for trend plays, right? Stuff that I picked up from the Mastermind, how to play trends. This is where I kind of figured out breaks and retests. BNR, right? Max says it all the time in the morning show. A little bit of free chicken for you guys. Break and retests. You got your 1-to-1 and now you're running 100 points on a runner if you're taking this. It's just you have to wait for confirmation, right? You have to understand your risk. You have to be able to accept it, get in, and take the trade. Don't be afraid, right? I don't know. To me, I just have fun doing this because I know what I'm doing. I know where everything is. And I want all of you guys to be there with me. I want all you guys to make this feel like a freaking video game because it is. Yeah, don't be a pussy, ads. Exactly. Don't be a pussy. Don't be afraid, right? No risk, no Rari is the famous saying, right? No pressure, no diamonds. You have to take that leap of faith. Whether you're a P2P trader, MVG trader, whether you're a CSO grunt, whether you're a Maestro Elite, whether you're a Maestro Academy, whether you're a quantum trader, FlowX, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, you have to test it as much as possible and understand that you know what you're looking for, you know your entry criteria, you're following the same routine over and over and over again. Quantum has been the same strategy for over 2 years now. It has not changed at all. Zero changes. The entries are the same. The stop losses are the same. I've been doing this for 2 years. You guys know I've already made a hell of a lot of money doing this. It's because I just follow the routine. Okay? Sorry for the little... I like doing like when we see a play out, right? It's a great feeling. But I want people to understand that it's okay to take L's. I want people to understand the psychology in the whole thing. And I want you all to understand what you're looking at, right? You should understand your entry points. You should understand your stop loss points. There should never be a question about that. You always have to trust the process and go with what it is, right? You're going to get L's here and there. It's going to happen. Okay? You're going to have range days. There are going to be days where there's going to be 1 minute chop. Guess what I'm going to look at? I'm going to look at my 2 minute and 5 minute. And if my 5 minute range is wide, then I can play that on the 1 minute. Right? There's going to be days where it's just a clean trend. So all you're going to play is failed bullish or failed bearish moves. That's it, right? There's days where you get really clean A++ setups on the 1 minute when the 5 minutes in a chop. Right? Those are the most volatile days. When the 5 minute is in a chop, those 1 minute signals hit off because you usually got about 50 to 70 to 100 points of range on the 5 minute. And being able to identify all that, right? That's why we have those 4 same repeated setups, because we can mold ourselves to different market conditions. It's going to take time to learn it, okay? I don't want to say it's easy peasy for everybody, because it's not. This is a strategy. So just like we have the Mastermind, you're going to have the Maestro Academy to learn the other strategies that I have, that I could trade without quantum. But you guys have the quantum strategy in my YouTube. We do these sessions every Sunday. So it's like learning a strategy with me every single Sunday and playing the same plays that I play. In between, when I don't have a sauce box setup or when I don't have any of my other setups, when I play my funded accounts during certain times, things like that. But when I'm passing evals left and right and I'm having my fun on my fund accounts, I'm doing these over and over and over again. L here and there, but for me as an emotional person and still practicing, it's like 1 micro for me. It's about to break 15-minute level. It's trying to hit it right now, 399. It's trying to. And you have to learn from those, Femi. Like you have to be able to learn from those losses, right? Screenshot them, ask why. All right, so now with the psychology part over, I'm gonna start reading some questions. Still shorting right now, but we're hitting that 15-minute level, 399. It's a psych 400 area, right? But as long as we are downtrending, right, expect the pull-ups to kind of be weak. Right now, the 1 minute has been making lower high. So the 1 minute downtrend is looking pretty damn strong, right? I can delete all those blues. I'm going to change them, right? These are gone. These are gone. All right, those are all gone for me. We got that purple there. All right, this is where we're at right now. Wonder if it'll come back all the way down here. Very curious. But that was a clean rejection point, the flip of the trend. Continuous. We do have room if we break that 15-minute level here. And then we need to get through the midline of sauce box at 372. We have a lot of room down from there. All right, let's see. Let's go up. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything from the beginning. Here's 8 o'clock, paper trade. I got full TP. Let's go Fahad. Got an X600 and a 2 minute. Okay, hit a BNR on the sauce box. Let's go, Zerdro. Got in late, but only took 2 micros. Let's go, Slice. I group traded, and one is way over consistency. That's a good problem to have, Eddie, but take that one account, right? And you can slowly lose money out of it. Depends on how much you need to lose. But if you go in with 1 or 2 micros and you just hit buy and then just hit reverse, right? I don't know how much you have to lose. If it's a little bit, do it slowly. But if it's a lot, like hit reverse a bunch of times, and just the fees on hitting reverse will start to eat up. And once you get really close, you stop, and then you can kind of slowly grind it into what you need to. That's my little trick, because I've done that many times where I pass consistency when I hit a banger. I'm like, I just need $100 to get consistency, and then it ends up exploding for $300-400. And I'm like, shit. Then I go in with 2 micros and just reverse, get really close, and then switch to 1 micro, and then just get it to where I need to get it. How many micros do you normally run with playing the chop? 2 to 3, depends on the risk, right? If I have a good identification of where my stop loss is going to be, sometimes it can be a little wider. I usually play 2 to 3. If the stop loss is pretty tight, I will go 4 to 5. Obviously, my sizing, if you guys go into if you guys are new, right, you might not know. So if you guys are new, go into the Quantum chat in the pinned messages. You might have to scroll down a bit. Look for the Quantum challenge rules. I have my exact sizing in there, right? Less than 6 points, 6 micros, 6 to 10 points, about 4 to 5, or 3 to 5, 10 to 15, 2 to 3, more than 15, usually 2, 1. And obviously, you know, like I do my strategic DCAing, like I just explained to you guys, right? But I never move my stop loss. But I always kind of try to measure it out, like how many max contracts am I going to go into the stop loss and be okay with it? Because in the end, I have to be okay taking the L. Do you add to trades? I don't, Joe Star. I do not scale in. I'm pretty rare with that. I never scale in. I just let my runner continue to run. That's it. I've always made a killing off of 50K accounts, and most 50K accounts, 250, 300 a day is my main target. With 450K accounts doing that, right? With 450K accounts, I made 18,400 in 2 months. Right? I have a shit ton, way more than that now. I don't need to make a whole lot. Like, I just don't. So I don't chase big, like, again, I don't chase huge plays. If you see big gains, you're usually either a handful of fun accounts, like those accounts that I just have fun with, or evals. I love to have stacked evals, backup funded. Like, I have about 5 in line on TPT to get into pro accounts. Like, yeah, I just like having backups. It helps with the psych as well. And when you guys get the right, I kind of explain how I do that with the podcast. I always take money out. I don't care if I'm up $200-300, and I use that same money to reload. And I reload, and I have backups. Snack the quick 500 on the break. Let's go, Deli Trades. You said that you see the cloud break at 558 or 627. The cloud break was over here at 560. So 560 around 50. This was the cloud break right here. So there was your break in your retest right there. So it was right there. And then obviously if it broke back above, right, you would have gauged your wherever that red is. That's where you would potentially have room to go to if it breaks back above it. So right now we're in a deep, deep downtrend. We're just at the midline of Saucebox, created a level at 76. Get that Fahad. Very nice, bro. Snagged a quick 500 there. I bet you do play both sides. Yeah, I do. Not like that, though, just Star. That winky face. That's devious. That wake up is crazy. Javi. Yeah, I felt, Snowchi, I felt, oh, yeah, you weren't there. The first night, we went to go have dinner, and as we were walking back to the cars, there was a little dip on the sidewalk, and I twisted my ankle. My ankle went complete. I thought I broke my ankle. I'm a big dude, man. I'm like 400 pounds, just about, right? So I was like, I was like straight up in my head was like, I just broke my fucking ankle. I immediately get up. Like the guys were laughing because like he bounced up. Like I was like, okay, I'm a big dude like my size, getting up really fast. And I got up and I was expecting to feel like instant shock of pain. I didn't feel nothing. Like the adrenaline was running a little bit, but I did feel my knee was banged up a bit. I knew I hit my knee hard. And then when I got back to the hotel that night and I went to shower, my knee was just bloody because I scraped it up really bad. But I was just walking it off, like, okay, and that was, what, almost 2.5 weeks ago? And I feel like it's getting worse. Like, the bruise is gone, the cuts are gone, but it's very painful to walk. Especially when I stand longer on it or I walk longer, it gets really, really bad. Overnight when I sleep, I wake up and it's fine. So I don't know exactly I don't know what I could have done to it, but I'm going to go get myself checked because it hurts really bad. And the limp is bad. I like mixing VWAP and the 21. I'm actually going to go over deli trades in the course. I'm going to go over my favorite EMAs that I used to use, and kind of the process, right, that led me to building Quantum a little bit, right? Just hints here. It's not going to be a full-blown breakdown, but it's going to be a lot of hints of my favorite EMAs, how I played them, each individual one. Because, you have the VWAP is like that main structure kind of anchor, and then you have from the 8, I used to remember, I even tried out like the 5 and the 6. The 21 was one of my favorite ones as well, up to the 50 and the 100. I drew the white line 548 based on the red line. Lavender is from the 1 hour time frame previous play when market opened. There you go. Okay, you do the high time frame analysis though. You do the scat stuff. Got some olive oil, heated it a bit, and scrub your knee 2 times a day. It's magic. Okay, I'll try that out, Fahad. Olive oil heated, and scrub it on the knee. Yeah, because I don't know. Like it's like I fell. Like, let's just say this is my knee, right? I fell and like my knee hit like this side right here, and that's the part that hurts. Like, hurts bad, especially when I touch it. Javier was a big puss at the Open tonight. I just couldn't trust it. Man, I wish I could afford the course. Fighting for this payout. Take your time, Deli, bro. Take your time, right? It's not a race, right? When we get really close to the payouts or we get funded, right? Everyone tries to race to those payouts. Don't race to it, man. Take your time again. Like I said, right? This is why I built this the way I built it. Was because I kept blowing accounts too. Like, I kept blowing accounts left and right. And I needed control. Like, I needed to find something to control me because I used to be that guy that my stop loss was blowing the account. Like, if the account was gone, that was it. It was gone, I didn't let accounts live for multiple days until I started following my stop loss and my break and retest, and I was like, okay, now my accounts are lasting weeks because it's rare that I take 3 strikes. And even if I do take 3 strikes where I follow my rules, the 3 strikes, I'm usually barely red or a little bit green. I don't really look at my P&L until the next day, and I kind of can gauge where I was. And it's like, okay, well, here we go, another day, and I do it all over again. It takes me a while to actually blow an account when I follow, like, obviously, every once in a while I let out a good YOLO. My wife hates it. But every once in a while I'll let a good one out, and then I'm like, well, blew an account today, and she'll get on me a little bit. And, I know. I'll be like, I know. And then I'll be really good for a couple weeks, and then I'll go and have my fun again. And then I'll be like, and I tell her every time I do it, I do tell her. I do my best not to hide it. All right, this giant box has me hesitant to take trades. Yeah, in drop dead, that's normal, right? But this big box, and this is for, like, obviously not Quantum, I treat it like orb, right? Just like orb. This is what's beautiful, right? The break inside, you can play it to the mid, right? Same idea, right? If this is the breaking candle, same general idea, right? But it is risky though, right? And if you have a level, you could play the level as a stop. Right, this is how I would combine the box with Quantum or the breaking candle. And then obviously going for your 1-to-1. Obviously you have a ton of room to midline. So you have at least your 1-to-1. You have room for that and then some with the runner. But, right, if you have a level, you want to see that level hold, you can put your stop down there, make it a little less risky, and look for your 1-to-1 and potentially more. But we're going to go over that more in the course. So I don't want to go too deep, but, teasing for some of you guys. But that's, when it's this big, it's just like an orb. Hey, Javi, so if it's good for a pullback entry using Quantum. Okay, so hey, Javi, so if it's okay, hold on, I'm going to reread that. My dyslexia is going nuts. What's a good look for a pullback entry using Quantum? Like, what formation of candles? for a pullback, I don't really look for like really formations. I look for the purples to start holding, right? If I'm looking for a reversal, what people call, I'm looking for confirmations of that, right? I'm looking for a candle or an area to hold, right? Obviously, we had that up here with the 5 minute, right? We had that purple here on the 5 minute. This one was broken, right? This one was broken, so that one's gone. Then we have a 2 minute purple that held, right? None of these candles could close above. So this is, and again, right, I had soft spots up here. Once I started to see the blues break, that's where I start looking for a potential pullback, right? Because I want to have those confirmations. I don't want to just try to enter short randomly. I need to have good confirmation because, again, right, we were in a strong uptrend. Once you had multiple confirmations, right, using the 1 to 5, right, 1, 2, and 5 is what I like to use. I want to see everything align, right? You have that 5 minute purple hold. You had this 2 minute purple hold. You had the blues start to break on the 1 minute, and you start to wait to see if the breaks and retests are going. The first one broke, no retest. Second one broke, a little bit of a retest. Third one, clean break and retest. And then you had your room down here. And then you had another break and retest down here. Like if you look at this, right? That failed blue candle, right here. Guess what this was? A break and retest, right? Break and retest, right? Big candle, so, stop loss would have been deep, right? Entry would have been around here. Stop loss would have been 38 points. Not one I would take at all because it's just way too risky, but, it gave it to you, right? This one down here, a little bit less risky, right? There's a break and retest right there where you had those little areas to keep an eye for, right? 18 points risk, 18 points TP. You did get it right there, right? But I don't look at like formations and things like that exactly. Obviously, anything extra outside of that, because there are a little bit of things that I look at that are kind of market structure stuff, but that's sauce, that's extra sauce that you're gonna learn in the course and stuff like that. Have you thought about offering an indicator for the sauce box? Yes, Amu, it is in the works. There's gonna be a sauce box indicator, but I want to give fair warning because the sauce box indicator does not program to the way that I do deletions because it's pretty difficult because my deletion process is very specific and it's very difficult to program it. You're going to have a lot of sauce boxes. A lot more than I would, right? Here this is what we're kind of calling it right now, right? So if you see this, right? And you look at my 1 and my 2. All right, so this is where I get, being the student, you're going to learn my deletions and things like that, right? You're going to see extra sauce boxes on the indicator that I've deleted on mine because the criteria for deletion met for me that are extra, like this one in the middle here, right? This one in the middle. It did play out well, right? It did play out well. Pushed up. We're in here, right? So you're going to have extra, right? This one has a little one down here. I don't have that one there. So that's just something that people are going to have to be very careful about. But this is an indicator that Owen's been working on for me for a while. It's going to provide the boxes automatically drawn in there. There's also another mini strategy in there that I will be breaking down a little bit once it's out. It's a pretty fun, dumb strategy, but it works. But that's only fair warning on that. Right? It's not there to be like, learn to do this and that with it. It's going to give you those sauce box zones, but you're going to learn how I play them, when you learn it from me, but they're going to be there. So there is an indicator on the works for it. It'll probably come out after the course, right? Because everyone who does the course, they're going to learn exactly how to do it without it. They're going to get my list. They're going to know exactly when I delete them. They're going to have the same boxes that I do. So that's going to be the thing with that. It's going to be there, but it's just a help if you so. It's actually more going to be a help for, I call it the intraday box strategy. That's the strategy that I used to play that led me to finding the sauce box. But the intraday box strategy is where that indicator is going to help a lot with, a lot more, because then you're not waiting for, or you're not watching for them to form. Rather, it's just going to ping it for you, and the alerts are going to be easy to sell on that. Xavi just passing alpha futures. I mean, quantum and PHP has its thing with, yeah, here you go, man. Exactly, Fod. Do what works for you, man. The combo of both works. Awesome, right? You get a quantum setup and in between you see a PHP setup, man. It just works. The combo is beautiful. That's what's awesome about us, right? We're all a little different, right? You got Llama with his ICT stuff and Coach, and then you got me with my weirdo ass strategies, right? Mine's the weirdest one because mine's its own thing. And then you got PHP, and then you got Max's too. He has his multiple setups as well. So we're all a little bit different, and it's fun because it all works for us in multiple ways. Look at the Saucebox midline hold. Look at that Saucebox midline hold, trying to erase itself back up, right? Just like an orb, guys. It's a beautiful thing. And the 5 minute is also potentially trying to go test, right? This is lining up with the 67, that downtrend right here. This could be, right, let's go look at the 15 minute. This is my second little bit of sauce for you guys. Ooh, it's kind of still in a downtrend though. It didn't make a higher high. I wanted to peek out the 15 minute, but it's kind of in between. The 15 minute is between trends. It couldn't make a higher high here. It's been in a slight uptrend. Hi. Oh.
My tablet did.
Your tablet did? Oh no, go connect your charge. Okay. So
this
the
is
15 minute swung.
That is
The kids are.
Hey,
What's up,
I
man?
wasn't watching and now I have to. Great.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to put them?
Huh?
Where do you want them to go? Do you want to stay here?
Yeah, no, take him. It's echoing here. Huh? Go connect your tablet to charge, bud. Yeah, Aiden's gonna help you, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
We just showered.
They're the reason I do this anyway. Oh, the way it's following me again. Hold on. It's following you, Aiden. Hold on, I gotta do the Jedi mind trick. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. No, wait, Aiden, stop moving. Aiden, stop moving. It's following everybody. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Twinkie. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm almost done, okay? I'm almost done. Let me answer these questions, guys, okay? And then I'll come back out.
Was I the tallest person in the thing?
Yeah, okay. If you're still clicking in your knee, if you're still hearing clicking in your knee, you know what, Deli Trades? It's not clicking, it's like rubbing. It's like bones rubbing or something. It's like whenever I do the bending, it's really weird. Yeah, they're gonna take your tablet to charge, okay? Yep, blew a payout recently when I just needed an A+ setup, just 200 buckaroos. Ads, I've done that too, brother. I've done that too. I've blown an account that was $100 away from a payout because I couldn't just stop, right? And it happens. It's happened to all of us. It's okay, learn from it, move on, right? The important thing is to move on. You got really close to a payout. There's no reason you can't do it again, right? You got to be able to move on from that feeling of potentially like, oh, I failed. Now I have to start from zero. Like, yeah, but you can still do it, right? You have to have that little bit of faith where you're just like, I'm just going to do what I did. It's the same thing. My stop loss seems to be the curse of me most of the time. My weakness is my timing on the entries. So hard to improve that part. Yeah, and that's where you have to continue to test it and work. But that's always, my entries never change, Fahad. It's the same thing for me. I do not hesitate, right? And again, I've been doing this for 2 years, right? I've been using Quantum. Quantum is my strategy, right? A lot of you guys have maybe for a couple months. So I understand, maybe even less than that. So I understand, right? There's a lot of hesitation, a lot of uncertainty. That's why I do these sessions every single Sunday. But the entries for me are always the same. They don't change. A++, candle closure, right? Failed bearish or bullish move, retest. It's the same thing. Do I get stopped out sometimes? Yeah, I do. I'm not perfect. I don't catch every single trade all the time. Do I catch a lot of them? Yeah, because I just test things out. But when you follow the process and you're able to continue to follow your stop losses and your sizing, keep everything in check, you tend to keep moving forward. Like even my bad days, I overcome really, really fast. But it's about trusting the process, understanding your entries, and just playing with, again, right? Don't fight the trend. Never fight the trend, right? Wait for the confirmations when the trend starts to flip, right? The blue's breaking is your confirmation with quantum. Blue's breaking, that's your confirmation, right? Right now, right, we created a bed of blues down here. We haven't challenged the purple yet, right? The only purple we have is all the way up here, right? So it's safe to say purples are being respected right now because there's nothing to fight, right? There's nothing to fight here until that one all the way up there, and now we got a new one right here. All right, now we got a new little purple, and we got a little bit of blues down here. All right, so all this has to break now. If we want to go down, we have to break this whole little area. So until that happens, I ain't gonna touch a short until I see a break and potential push down. I ain't touching a long until 440 to 67. It's about 20 points, but right, it might just push and bleed through. Right, this is kind of a range area. You know, like if I played the level rejection up here, right, obviously I'm in the sauce box, level rejection plus sauce box top, right? This is just like orb. That's like an orb rejection, right? Back to the mid. Do I do that sometimes? When I'm having fun on an eval, I will, right? But that's, again, right? This isn't pure quantum. That's other confluences lining up. This is how I can define potential chop and range zones. Our 2 minute now also giving us a potential range and chop zone. All right, here's our blue, here's our purple. Boom. Change this one. And there we go, right? We got a 1 minute trying to form here at 409. So you want to see if this 409 holds and we stay on this bottom little area right here. And if this level holds, right, if it locks in and holds, and we start to break this, then that's our confirmation for a lower low. Our 5 minute is also fighting a blue as well. Right, and the move already happened from up here all the way down here. So I'm expecting, right, I'm always expecting, right, the market does the same thing. It's going to look for a lower high potentially. Guess what? That ended up lining up with that level in the top of sauce box. This is how I have my fun. Oh yeah, I like the short here because if it breaks 67, I'm out. If it doesn't, guess what? Nice little ride down. The bottom, right? You had 81. You could have scalped that for about 27 points, right? From bottom of 81, right? Potentially 10-point stop loss for that. Or you could just do a quick little 80 break. If it breaks 82 deep, you get out. Or you have that level right here at 73. Or 73, I'm sorry, that's my level. That's the midline of sauce box. All right. And that's how I play these chop zones. First, being able to identify them. Let's say I'm consistent, but I was like 800 away from passing and my TPT is about to renew. Is it worth to renew? When you're 800 away and it's about to pass, you're 800 away from passing and it's about to renew. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know if they give you a reset credit or not. They used to give you a reset credit when it would renew. And I'm going to be honest, when I'm that close, right? If I'm that close, if I had like 3 days and I know it's going to renew, and I'm just going to be straight up honest, I'll send it. Like, I'll send it just because I'm going to pay for a new one. I might as well try to pass it. And I'll just get a fresh one if I don't and start all over. Not financial advice, feed me, but, you know, that's when I have one. I remember doing that with the 150s when I went and tested the 150s, but because I was like, I didn't like to size up too big. It literally took me almost a month to pass those 150Ks. And there was a couple instances where I was like, well, I still need 3,000 and this thing is renewing in 3 or 2 days, and I would send it. Didn't turn out very well most of the time. I think I passed a couple, but most of the time it didn't turn out very well. I ain't gonna lie. You exceed for your students like posting your lessons or reading quantum. Could you offer like 5 days trade live when you can since your time? That's something I'm going to be doing a lot more with the coursework, Femi. Yeah, because obviously, you know, I got family. I did coaching. Now it's kind of, the coaching is now turning into the coursework. But with Quantum, right, I do these Sunday study sessions. You have the videos. The trading live is like an added perk for like students and things like that. I mean, that's going to be for the coursework stuff that I'm going to be doing. I want to make sure that's clear. Yeah. And then plus all the shows and everything else, right? You got the shows. So It's really difficult to even try to do something like that. I guess my life gonna be here. Yeah, it happens. It happens to me. They come in sometimes mid trade. I'm like, oh god, and I get out sometimes because I know like when I get distracted and they jump on me and stuff, I get out even if I'm red. I get out because I'm like it's if I'm distracted, I know that oh it's gonna end up not well. If it doesn't end up well, right? If I don't get my exits and my stop losses correct. Right, then I'm gonna then I'm gonna be a little bit not feeling too good, and I'm gonna be like annoyed at them a little bit, right? And I don't want to do that to them. Like I don't want to give that to them anymore. I used to be like that back in the day. I used to really get frustrated when I would already be in a red trade and I couldn't set my stop loss because of distractions. So I immediately get out no matter where it is, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna let them play, do their thing, and then I'll shoo them away real quick. And then I'll get right back to it. So it's important to be able to stop. And it's hard because when you're in mid trade, you've been waiting for the setup, and then you get distracted, and you're like, oh. But it helps. It helps with controlling of the emotions when that happens. Thank you, Vic. Thank you. Oh look, there's an A++ that kind of played out. It's a funky looking A++. That cross is like glued together. It's not really an A++. That cross at the bottom. So not crispy. So we just had this break. The 2 minute, okay, here's a good example, guys, for you, right? The 1 minute broke, right? Break and retest happening. But we're not going anywhere until this 2 minute and 5 minute also break, right? This is where you have to wait for those additional confirmations on the higher time frame. Can it go? Yes, right? It can, right? Just makes it risky. And you have to be okay with it, right? You have to be okay with the risk when you know what you're playing against. Let's see if it gives you your 10 points here. There you go. There's your 10 points. You're right. You're risking 13, so I actually need a little bit more. You need a little bit more if you want your one-to-one. Right? But you're fighting that purple right here on the 5. Right? But this is, again, right? Sometimes you just got to do it. There it is. There's your 13 points. Look, there's your one-to-one. Right? It's simple, right? It's all about identifying your stops. There was a nice little quick scalp right there. Your runner, let it float a little bit, maybe candle by candle. See if it continues to push. This is the way I play a little bit of runner sometimes, right? If I have 2 runners left, I'll have one at entry, and sometimes I'll let one, if I'm seeing a 2 minute setup like this, I'll leave one right below wherever that original stop loss is, and then I'll play it candle by candle. So a little chicken for you guys right there. But there you go. Another setup, right? We're still fighting. What are we still fighting? That 5 minute, right? Here's the 2 minute setup. Here's what this 2 minute setup is going to look like. We're still fighting that 5 minute. Again, right? Risky. Understand your risk, right? 18-point risk if you entered up here. You're looking for 18 points. You're looking for a push up there. There it goes. There you go, right? You got your 1 minute setup, your 2 minute setup. Even though it didn't fully tap, right? It didn't fully tap down here. Maybe I would have tested it with 1 or 2 micros. There it goes. 5 minute pulling up. 1 minute played out pretty well. Now your 1 minute is looking good, right? Candle by candle. Now your stop loss will be under here. If it breaks that 67, it would be whatever yep, there it goes, right? If the 67 breaks, right, I would move my stop loss candle by candle still underneath the breaking candle to see if it continues and just ride it. Look at that beauty. Did anybody catch this? All right, it's playing out. Right, couldn't make a lower low, higher low. Confirmation of that flip here. There's your higher on the 1. 2 minutes doing the same thing, right? The 5 minute what does this tell me now? This tells me that the 5 minute is now hunting for its potential lower high. Potential, right? Or, right, the 5 minute hasn't built an overnight trend yet. This could be the higher low. I don't know, but I'm going to play with what I see. So if anybody caught this beauty, right, understand your risk, understand what you're fighting, be okay with the outcome. Right, you're risking initially here about 14-ish points. You got that, and then some, right? It's now running for 60 points. Candle by candle, right? If you did candle by candle, you're up about 40 points on your runner. You're right here. And if it continues, right, you just move your stop loss up, or you could trail it close, whatever you want to do. That's kind of how I run my runners. 5-minute breaking. That was beautiful. Very nice. If any of y'all caught that, fucking awesome. And you guys get to see it. Repetitive. It's repetitive. Same setups. Same entry points. Same stop loss. Everything, nothing changes. Just understand where your resistance is, understand where the rejections can be, and rinse and repeat. Javi, you the best. I hope to participate soon on the course. Awesome, Deli. Absolutely, brother. That's my SMT level with yes. I tilt that before I renew that account. Isn't buying a new account sometimes cheaper than to renew? It usually renews with the discounted price that you signed up with. If they have a new sale that is cheaper, it is. I loaded up on TPT when they were on the extra discount. I think they were 45 or whatever they were. They were $85 each. I bought extras, and they renewed at $85. So it just depends when you sign up, right? Obviously, if I signed up before, right, that sale, and I had ones that were set to renew and they were going to renew at $102, I would have canceled those bitches and bought the cheaper ones. That's what I would have done. I think she's talking about like how Logan is doing with the indicators for a week only thing. Oh, that, okay. Yeah, something like that. Eventually, yes. Absolutely. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I do these every Sunday, right? He doesn't technically do PHP sessions at all, so that's kind of what I do. But yeah, absolutely. I could try to. I mean, I'll do. You know what we're gonna do? We're after the course and everything is done, I'll do another challenge. Why the hell not? I'll do another challenge. That's what we're gonna do. So no date, right? You guys hear it first. You guys will hear it first. There's no date. I gotta do the course, and then we're gonna move things along with the move. But once things settle down, right? The kids are gonna be back in school in August. We'll do it. We'll do another challenge. Fuck it. I was aiming for entry in the white circle. Yeah, you got in a little late. Hey, you're still. Hey, if you understand your risk, brother, you understand your risk slice. 50% off that time. We'll see. We'll see, Maytrades. We'll put something together. I stopped trading my props at 300. Now I'm trading my eval. I'm learning not to overtrade. Let's go, Ish. That's exactly what you got to do, man. Like, you got to separate your strict accounts, right? You're going to have a set of strict accounts, and you're going to have some fun accounts, right? If you're just starting and you're building, treat them as strict accounts, period, until you get a little buildup, right? That's literally how I built my whole thing. I started with one 50K account, one 50K straight to funded Tradify account. Got a payout, bought a second one, got a payout from that second one, bought two accounts for my funded futures. They were the $97, what were they called? Back then they were called Starter Plus, which are identical to the Lucid plans, the Lucid Flex. And then those were my 4 accounts. I've slowly passed the evals, and then I was just hitting 250 every 10 days, and I was withdrawing every 10 days, like literally every 10 days. Actually with the Starter Pluses, once I built the buffer and everything, every 5 days I was withdrawing 1,200. So that was like 20. It was every 2 weeks. It was 24 times 2, so 2,400 times 2, and then 2,000 times 2, and those 4 accounts for 2 months nonstop. Like, it was crazy. I made 18,400 just making 250. Literally 250. 250 done with one, 250 done with the other, 250 done with that, and it was a good time. And that's all it takes. You started in May? Let's go, man. You're a baby, bro. You're a baby-ish. Learn it right, man. Good thing you're in the course now. Learn it right. Learn it slow, right? Don't look at everyone else on social media showing you, I made $20,000 today. Okay, they're gonna show you how many accounts they blew to make that $20,000 right now. Right? They're not gonna show you all the accounts that they blew just for that one big account to show off. You know, I'm learning as a mental and being patient. 300 a day, exactly. 300 a day with one account, right? I was making, when I was general manager at restaurants, right? I was making 3 to 330 a day with overtime. Overtime. So I was working 50 to 60 hours a week for $300 a day. And I could make that in less than 20 minutes every single day. I don't know, why you can't be okay with that. Everyone should be okay with starting like that. And then you build up, stack up, rinse and repeat, and do it over and over and over again. Let's see, that 5 minute broke that area. It's gonna go retest it right now. Ooh, purple candle on the 1. So it's gonna go retest that 44 level. Maybe that 60 or 44 level. The DOM is kind of going nuts around 60. There's a jump a little bit on 60. And there it goes again. That time it didn't go nuts. There's the bleed through, so it's gonna test that 44 potentially. It's kind of bouncing around. As it gets closer, it bounces up. So that 44 is potentially a strong area. So there's a push back up. What did that hit? That hit 50. I didn't even see it hit 50 on my DOM. What the hell? I missed that 50 tap. Huh? Did I leave something open here? Oh, no, okay. That was just that. Wait, no. Hold on. 2, 3, 4. Okay, whew. Okay. All right. Javi, I don't know if you know this or not, but you're a great teacher, bro. I love your craft. Oh, thank you, Kobe. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, bro. That means a lot because I take this serious. And I love to teach. Like, I didn't realize how much I was gonna love to teach until I started doing it. And I love it, dude. Like, my wife hates how much I love it because I'm literally, right? It's already set in 9:04, right? An hour and a half in. And I know she's gonna be texting me like, it's bedtime. And I know I gotta go. Exactly. As soon as I said it, you saw the timing, guys. I saw. That was perfect timing. As soon as I knew it, I saw the time. Oh man. There you go. Yep. Yeah, Fad. All right, guys. That's my cue. You guys got to see literally like 3 or 4 setups tonight. Trade cautiously. If you're green, stay green, right? Size down when you're up, size down. Don't give back what you've made, right? Follow a strict set of rules to be able to stop. It's very important. Sleep tight, sleep happy, trade safe. Rinse and repeat the same process over and over again, right? This is why I laugh maniacally in Power Hour, because it's always funny to me that it keeps working no matter what. It's always just like funny to me. It's always fun. I'm like, ha ha ha, you see me laughing. But I appreciate you guys being here with me as always, right? We're going to do this all over again next Sunday. And as soon as I start, as soon as the course starts kind of calming down, or obviously it's going to be like about a 2-week course, I think, I'm going to start planning the next quantum challenge. And we're going to do it. We're going to do a nice quantum challenge. I don't know the time frame of it or nothing yet, because, I literally just told you guys that, fuck it, we're going to do it. But we're going to do it, and I'll start getting the details out to you guys as soon as, everything starts coming together. And yeah, see, wife is planning to get away. Yeah, the course is going to be back-to-back nights from July 6th for probably 2 weeks. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, continuous, nonstop, hearing me yap. So it's exciting. We haven't done a live mastermind in a while, so I'm excited for it. I'm pumped for it. Look at this thing just continue to rock, right? Look at that 5-minute retest of that level. Like, just textbook. But again, guys, trade safe. Enjoy your evening. Appreciate you guys being here every single Sunday night with me. I gotta do my little exit spiel now. So YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit that bell, do all that fun stuff. Make sure you guys check out my socials, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys again next week, Sunday night, same time, right after Coach and the Happy Hour show. Peace out, everyone. Awesome. All right, guys. Enjoy your night. Again, be safe, right? Ask questions. I'm in the quantum chat all the time, right? So ask those questions. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Power Hour, okay? Mwah.